Honorable Solomon Edojah joins us, former member House of Representatives. That was in 1992-93.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thanks. Good morning, viewers.
We're talking about federalism and what we need to do, how we need to move forward. In spite of all the arguments going forward, do you think that those up there really are convinced as to the importance and why we need to do something about as we're currently structured?
I think we do more of talking than actions. I think that's the problem with this country. We had professors, scholars, professionals who came with different definitions of federalism, and the point, each time I watch guests on this profile, in this topic, people generally talk about lamenting the past. Where we are now is for us to look at the past. Like history will always teach us that look at the past, look at your present, and project into the future. And so we need a unique form of federalism for Nigeria.
Unique form?
A unique form of federalism, because we tend to copy, and when we copy federalism from the Western world, we don't copy the ingredients that make them to succeed. For instance, federalism is based on certain fundamentals, namely that you are going to have leaders who have the interests of the people, who are honest, who have respect for ethics and value. These three ingredients are lacking in Nigeria. So there is no, and in fact, in all facets of the things we copy, they don't work. They don't work because the values, those things that will make them to work, are not there. And so we put something on nothing. In law, you say, that could not happen. You cannot lay foundation on nothing. So what we are doing, we are just patching up, and then we are now overwhelmed.
So, if you say a unique structure,
yes,
what will be the composition of that structure?
No, I don't say structure, a unique definition of federalism. My own take on it is get a federalism that addresses the issues and problems of Nigeria. And what are the problems of Nigeria? As we speak today, our problem is infrastructure. We don't have them. They are lacking in all this. And the effect of that is we now have a high level of unemployment because we copy. We just, probably a minister travel out of this country and say, oh, 6334 system of education, and somebody just come and implement it. And then fizzle out all our teacher training colleges, all our technical schools, all our tertiary schools that are practical in nature, they have all been fizzled out. And so what we have, people who want certificates. And today you talk about, there is a big irony in this country. You talk about employment in this country, whereas people are coming from Togo, people are coming from Cameroon, people are coming from Cotonou to come and do plumbing. In fact, if you are looking for an electrician or a tailor in Nigeria today, you have to go to Togo.
And
yes.
I heard some people will tell you that there's nothing wrong with copying. I mean, if other people have done it before and implemented it successfully,
yes,
you do not have to go through the rigors of learning it all over again,
yes,
because you can always just see how they've done it there, learn from them, and come back.
Yeah, but you see, if you copy, it means you also have to copy the attitude of the people. Our attitude is quite different. Now, it's abnormal for us to say we're having unemployment in Nigeria, yet people are coming to seek employment here. It shows that there's something wrong. There's a lacuna somewhere. It shows that...
What is peculiar about our attitude?
Our attitude is we have this sharing mentality of federalism. And so the lazy culture is there. For instance, I tell you today, if the National Assembly, which is eventually going to be our saving grace if we properly manage, comes with a law, it has to be a law, that look, no member will earn more than this. And for oversight, this is what you take. Then another law again saying, governors, nothing like immunity for you on criminal cases, or nothing like, what do you call this big words, they call it the security votes. Once you take such those things out, you see half of the governors will not come. Then half of the legislators will not go back. Because when a system is such that everybody wants to be going to government and not to the private sector, then you know there is something wrong. Our students today, the kind of youth we have today, no one wants to work anymore. And that is why if you're looking for a driver today, you have to stretch out to Cotonou. So we have to, first of all, develop a federalism that addresses those issues. Because The unemployment we have in our country today is so huge that if we don't
that
address them, all other things will not work.
A federalism that addresses the issue of laziness.
Yeah.
That's
Yes, laziness is coming because of the training we have. Now, what is wrong with the federal government setting up government training centers in the 774 local government of the country, where people are, whether you are a graduate, I read in the paper recently that one of the big multinational, indigenous multinational is advertising for drivers, trailer drivers who are graduates. That is the level we have debased ourselves. Knowing fully well that driving is not a course in the university. But that tells you the level that we have reduced ourselves.
It's not because they need a certain mentality, a certain level of thinking. Not so much so. Who says that if you're a graduate, you cannot be a driver?
Yes, but what kind of driver are you going to get for somebody who is not trained? When you advertise, knowing fully well that in our curriculum in the university today, there is no driving as a provider. I have never seen any university offering a driving as a course. And you're advertising for a driver who are university graduates. So it shows that he has seen it all. And besides that, look at the commanding high that we are selling. All this. You see, sometimes when we look at the past, we ask ourselves, our forefathers who practiced this regional government, they set up industries deliberately. They knew the civil service structure cannot take care of everybody. So they deliberately set up this industry. And, well, the accusation is that they were all mismanaged. No, it is not true. Several of them were properly organized until the coming of the military. I can remember in 1963, when the Midwest was created, the first thing they did was to establish 3 industries: the Bender Cement industry at Okwila, the Bender Glass factory at Ugele, and the Asaba Textile Mill, because they know that these youth that are coming out require a place to work outside the civil service. Because their greatest challenge, and one of the reasons they wanted to pull out of the old Western region, was the development. The development stops at Ore. The 22 Odua company at that time, none of them crossed beyond Ore. And so they needed a government that can extend to the people. So if all the 36 states today can boast of 2, 3, 4, 5, for instance, what stopped the states of the Niger Delta from each of them having a refinery? Each of them having at least a modular refinery that costs less than 100 million naira. What stops it? So the whatever that stops them from having it, that is the issue to be addressed. If it is the Constitution that is stopping them, then the pressure group, which they call Governor Forum, should make sure that this amendment provides us a window to unbundle those things, the 68 item on the exclusive legislative list, that some of the powers are devolved. So I believe that where we are now is solutions, not lamentation, and we must begin to take practical approach.
Okay, your call for a unique form of federalism for Nigeria, would that negate the principles of federalism?
No, because you see,
because you said the unique form is based on the makeup of Nigeria, Nigeria and Nigerians.
Yes.
So if you're going to say a unique form of federalism based on the makeup of the people,
our attitude, our culture, our belief, and our way of life. And, as things are going, things are getting worse by the day. And we are being overwhelmed. You see, we are tackling we are tackling the symptoms and not the source. Now, we know that it is social security that gave birth to this physical security that we're having. And what gives birth to social security, it is lack of job. During our days, when we finish, we have jobs immediately, so there is no time for money left, there is no time for fathers, there is no time for begging. But these days, you will walk your shoe out before you can get a job, because the job are simply not there. This method of, we need to reverse this method, because if something is not working, drop it. The difference between the private and the public is one letter word, one semantic, punishment.
Punishment?
No, one letter word, one semantic, one etymology, punishment. That is the difference between the private and the public.
Please explain. Explain. As in punishment.
Yes, that's just one word that distinguishes the private sector from the public sector.
How?
Now, the same persons who run down this economy, who are now the gladiators in the private sector, they are able to do well, because if they don't do well, they will be punished.
In the private sector?
Yes.
By who?
By your employer. Today, if you don't report to work by 7:30, you could get sacked.